Welcome to a new video about current source design using transistors. In this example number 7, we'll continue with the MOSFETs, and in this case we will use only MOSFETs to create a current source. So that is a little bit different than the previous examples where we also had one or two resistors in our circuit. So we will see how we can do that step by step in our calculations and also verify these in SPICE simulations. So let's look at our example. We have 3 N-channel enhancement type MOSFET here. The threshold voltage, the conduction parameter, and also the channel length modulation for these transistors are shown here. So all of them have the threshold voltage of 400 millivolts. The K sub N prime, which is a small k, is equal to the mu n, mobility of the electrons, times the capacitance of the oxide per unit area, is given by this, which is 50 microamps per square volts, and the channel length modulation is 0 for all transistors. The design question is the following. We need to design for a load current, which is ID1 of 60 microamps, and we need to use a reference current of 100 microamps, which is here. So there will be also design, so we don't place here an ideal current source or any resistor here to create that, so there will be only these 3 transistors. And we have VDD and VSS 2 volts and minus 2 volts here. So how do we design this circuit using this information? Let's look at the solutions. The first is calculations. We know for M1 we can, for example, or M2, it doesn't matter, or M3, we can select or set an overdrive voltage, which is called the VOV or sometimes VD SAT, of 0.4 volts. This is arbitrary, so you can also say I will take this 0.3 or 0.5, so a little bit larger than 0, in order to have some sufficient current flow. So that means the overdrive voltage means actually the following. That is the voltage between the gate source voltage and the threshold. So the gate to source voltage and the threshold voltage, the difference between them must be the overdrive voltage. Now when we set this is also what we shortly will see in the formula, and that is then equal to the VGS1 will be then equal to the overdrive voltage we have selected plus the threshold voltage, and that will be then here 0.8 volts. So that is just an arbitrary start, and we have now our VGS1 in order to create that overdrive voltage. Now for M1, the drain current is given by this formula. We know this. By the way, we call this half the smaller the Kn prime and the W over L of 1. This complete part here, we call that capital letter K sub n, which is the conduction parameter also. But in this case, we have now that in more detail. Why? Because we need to also determine the ratios of the W and L. So the W over L for each transistor must be determined. Now we know now here that we have the K sub n prime. We also know the VGS1 because we have selected our overdrive, and we also have the threshold voltage, so we can rewrite this in order to equate that to the W over L for the first transistor M1. Now ID1 must be 60 microamps. Now we just substitute here all the other parameters also. So you see that here, ID1 half Kn prime, and also the VGS1 minus VTH1. This is what we called before the V overdrive. See, so that's actually 0.4 here. And then if you do the calculation here, you get exactly 15. This is the multiplication factor for the MOSFET 1. So we will see that shortly in the simulation also what it means. So we have, for example, a unit transistor area that must be now multiplied by 15. That is actually the meaning of this ratio. We know that the VGS1 and the VGS2 are equal to each other. So if you know VGS1, you know VGS2, or the reverse, because they are parallel. So that's 0.8 also for VGS2. Now since the ID2 and ID3 are in series here, because the gate currents are all 0 for the MOSFETs, and that's also equal to IREF, that must be then all equal to 100 microamps. So we can say ID2 is 100 microamps, ID3 is 100 microamps, and also IREF is 100 microamps. Remember, ID2 is not necessarily ID1, in this case definitely not, because if this was 60 microamps and this will be also 60 microamps, and this will be also 60 microamps. And then the design is not according to specifications, so we need to change the W over L so the areas of the M2 and M3 also. Okay, now for M3 the drain current is given by, in similar expression as we have for the M1, you can see that here, and now we express the W over L for the M2, that's shown here. We know that ID2 is 100 microamps, and the rest of the parameters we can use from here, 0.8, and also the threshold voltage, etc. So we can just substitute here everything we have, and it will give us 25. So we have now a multiplication factor of the W over L of 25 here. Okay, now using Kirchhoff's voltage law, we can write here that the VDD is equal to VGS3 plus the VGS2 plus VSS. That's shown here. Now we can equate now the expression for VGS3 because that is the final VGS we need to know. So VGS3 is then VDD minus VGS2 minus VSS, and that will be then 2, because that was VDD, minus 0.8 for VGS2 minus 2 for the VSS. Now we get 3.2 volts. So the voltage between this gate and the source is 3.2. You see definitely now that this is now 0.8, this is 0.8, but this is 3.2, so that will change the whole business here about the current. So then for the M3, the drain current is again also given in the similar form, using only the subscript 3 instead of 2 or 1. Now we need to again have that W over L for the third transistors. We know ID3 because that's just IREF, but now we have our VGS3 we require, so our expression will be this, and that will give us 0.51, approximately 0.51. So this is now different. Okay, now we have the necessary W over L for each transistor. Now let's get to the simulation results. This is the simulation result. You see here the M1 with the length and the width as the unit values, and how much we need to multiply that unit selection of the W and L. So we need to, for example, if we set L to 10 micrometers and the W also 10 micrometers, it means actually you need to double your actually W by 15, so you need to make it 150. And here you need to make the W 250 because you go from 10 micro to 250 micro because you need to multiply by 25. And here you actually almost have that W. And then you see here that the 60 microamps will be flowing here, which is called IX in this case, and this is IRF, which is 100 microamps. And that is done actually according to this model in the Tina TI simulator. You see the threshold voltage 400 millivolts. Beta is actually this Kn prime, which is this small letter K. That is 50 microamps per square volts here. The rest of the parameters are 0 because you see here the lambda, which is the channeling modulation, must be 0 in our case, etc. They're also 0. And what we also see that we have determined that the W over L was for each transistor these values 15, 25 and 0.51. How to do that in a transistor in the simulator? You go for example to M1 and then go to the device multiplier, and that's shown here. And let me bring all the others also. And this is 15. In a similar form for M2, it's 25. This is then here. This is the actual calculation, so I actually rounded off here, but this is the 0.5102, etc. So that's actually the actual multiplication factor. And then the design is complete. So then you need to process this and then try to tune this if necessary in your actual practical design. So this is then completed. So we have checked our results in these simulations. This is our example number 7, considering the N-channel MOSFET current source design using only transistors. If you have any questions, comments about this example, please let me know. I will try to answer them as soon as possible. See you next time in another video.